The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998. Welcome to PWR Ask the Booker, answering your questions about the inner workings of pro wrestling each week. And now, let's find out which question was selected for this week's episode of Ask the Booker.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. It's Ask the Booker. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Hero. You never are, so I just go, you know. While you're thinking about it, I'm doing it there, bro. All right?
Let me know how that works for you. I'm a thinker.
Ask the Booker. You send us a question. We spend an entire special edition here on Tuesdays answering it. And let's go to that right now. This week's question comes from Brian Johnson. And this one is interesting, David,
DJ?
so pay close attention. One of the things I think is lacking in pro wrestling today is the lack of characters. When I got into wrestling in the mid-1980s, we had guys come to the ring in loud, brightly colored robes. We had guys in face paint. We had cops, robbers, and Mounties. We had guys who looked like Elvis. We had hillbillies. We even had evil millionaires. We had guys dressed in polka dots. We had ladies' men and guys who brought animals to the ring. Today, wrestling's biggest characters are a Boy Scout who used to have an Eminem gimmick and a greasy-haired skater who looks like he hadn't slept for 5 years. Isn't the lack of almost cartoon-like characters that attracted me to wrestling in the 80s one reason why the average age of the wrestling fan has risen since the late 1990s? Wow, Brian laying it out there and very detailed, very succinct in his communication here. David Hero, let's talk about it.
Well, what happened was,
What happened?
like everything, things change, things evolve. And
Evolution.
you went into the reality era of television. Doink the Clowns and TL Hoppers and the Goons weren't going to cut it anymore. Those weren't going to be the guys that were going to wind up on The Tonight Show or Jay Leno. You know what I'm saying? Or Conan O'Brien or Letterman. You know what I'm saying.
I hear you.
So they had to make the guys a little more real, a little bit more of a person, a little more marketable. They had a big crossover appeal. And that's what they did. Reality TV, I think pro wrestling was the original reality TV because they started to do the Crash TV and different gimmicks and personalities and whatnot. There are some characters left. I mean, you can look at Brodus Clay, you can look at Santino.
No, we can't look at Brodus Clay anymore because you have ruined his career, much like you did Zack Ryder, much like you did The Miz. You, David Hero, are a career killer. You pick people up onto that Mighty Mouse Club.
I thought we were talking about Ask the Booker.
Oh, we are, but you.
I have no divas on my Mighty Mouse Club.
This is within the
How
full
can you call them
context.
rats?
This is within the full context of what we're talking about. You ruined Brodus Clay's career because Brodus Clay came back. Brodus, big, disco ball, dancers, fun, great music. Where's he been?
Looking for new backup dancers?
And remember when he first came out, everybody hated him.
Everybody.
Which is really pointing out what Brian's talking about here.
But then the fans the reason they hated because the fans had expectations.
They didn't spoil it for themselves. That's why they hated
were
it.
expectations. And what happens when you have expectations?
You just get
always leads to disappointment. And that's what happened. Brodus Clay, Santino, R-Truth, even The Rock is still a character. I mean, he's like that tweener character between real and fantasy.
Leaner, meaner, not an in-between.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Ray.
That's the problem, is that guys wanted to use their real names for merchandising and marketing purposes.
No, so that they would not be screwed over when they left WWE.
Well, it still happened to the Dudleys. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it all comes down to what makes dollars and cents. If it doesn't make dollars, it will not make any sense. So that's the direction that Vinnie Mac took the company. I mean, WCW still had their characters during Nitro. They had Glacier and Mortis and who were some of those other guys? They had that 70s guy. And look what happened to the company.
Disco Inferno?
Mike Awesome. Remember? Then they had 3 count. They had a lot more.
Glacier, really?
He was in WCW.
He was a character. I mean, Sub-Zero was also great in Mortal Kombat. But
what I'm saying is, look at WCW had all the different
Get over here.
characters, not performers, if that makes any sense. If you're kind of following me.
Yeah.
And everyone took WCW as being hokey. I mean, even when they had the guy come down, the pianist, when he would come down.
The what?
That guy who would come down and play on
Liberace?
Yeah. Who was he?
They had a pianist?
Yes.
I don't remember. I didn't watch Nitro.
He sold
I only
the
watched Thunder. It was a better
George
show.
name to Gorgeous George, and then I can't think of it. What was it? You had drinks together in Milwaukee a couple times.
Lash LaRue?
No, but another example, MIA, missing in action. The stuff didn't work. The fans couldn't connect. They couldn't relate. That's why there's no more characters in wrestling. And if they are, they're for comedic purposes only.
CPO?
Yes.
C3PO?
No. Just not three of them, just one of them.
EPO?
What the hell was that guy's name? It's going to drive me
I
nuts
drank
now.
with somebody? I mean, I've given up drinking
you
for the last
forget. I mean, that was 10 years ago. Were you even old enough then? I don't remember. What was the guy's name?
Well, I don't know, David. You can keep asking
long
me.
bleach blonde hair. He had the robe. He came out with Shamrock. She was known as Symphony. Remember?
Not at all. And he played a piano?
Yes.
I have no earthly idea what you're talking about. I don't have Wikipedia right in front of me.
Maestro. Remember him?
No. I didn't watch WCW.
And you say you're the journalist.
I am. I was
on.
covering WWE at the time.
Well, the people out there know.
Thank you, Brian Johnson, for sending in that email. You can spur discussion right here on this program, the Pro Wrestling Report, by sending your email to atb@pwrshow.com, atb@pwrshow.com. With your question, please include your name and the location from which you are sending that electronic mail message. David, just a few weeks away from the Shenanigans Beach Party.
Huge party.
VIP
I
tickets
cannot wait.
almost gone.
Yes. Well, you know what? We better remind them to have plenty of mojitos there.
I'm sorry?
Mojitos.
Oh, the
That's
umbrella
my drink.
drinks.
Yes.
Real men drink Jameson without an umbrella.
You know what? You can play that card
Don't
all
they
you
put
want.
like a oak leaf in that drink?
No,
a
it's
mojito?
a mint leaf. It's mint. It's minty freshness.
Like oregano?
Your breath is always clean when you drink a mojito. It's important, you know, on South
Where do you
Beach.
put the umbrella? I mean, like, how does it not poke your eye out when you're drinking it?
You hold it, here's an example. There's the umbrella. You hold it back with your finger.
It's like
while you drink.
chopsticks.
We're not talking about that piano guy anymore. Stay on subject.
This has been Ask the Booker, ladies and gentlemen.
Step
For
on a
that
duck.
one. That's this one. Davey and Nelson saying so long, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you
Mojito.
Thursday on Sudden Impact Radio, and then Saturday on Prime Time. Thank you so much.